I just finished with that Mthethwa statement that the Brigadier referred to, and we were busy having a discussion about it. We beg indulgence, madam.
You what?
We beg indulgence. Perhaps if we come after the short break, madam. My lord, with respect, I'm going to ask this of the court. I'm immune to social media, my lord. This case, from the time we started on the 18th of July until today, has moved tremendously than the previous trial, my lord. So we are not going to rush justice. Justice is happening. The wheels of justice are turning in respect of the accused persons. If it wasn't, they would complain, we'll bring it to the court, my lord. So we are not going to dance to social media, my lord.
This is not social media.
That's one person hiding behind an email, my lord, and he's one of them.
What's the time now?
It's 11:03.
Okay, we'll come back at 1:30. But you know what? Another aspect I forgot to tell you guys when you say the thing is hearsay. According to the Brigadier Geninda, he took the statements. Am I correct?
Yes, Fiso Zoom was taken by me.
Yeah, I'm looking at Baloyi. I'm asking him, do you know this and this and this and this and this? Baloyi says this and this and this and this and this. Are you prepared to swear to it on a statement? Yes, I am. Somebody like Ngumalo takes an oath. He's being cross-examined now in court. And he says, Baloyi said this and this and this and this and this. And Baloyi was a witness. He has deposed to a statement. It has been discovered. So you're at liberty to cross-examine Geninda, Brigadier, put it to him after getting instructions that no statement was taken. And then Baloyi says there are witnesses which he is not going to use. You've got the right to call those witnesses who have made statements and who are accusing your client of A, B, C, and D. Like this gentleman,
Jack
Buthelezi. I remember his evidence. When he says he met accused number 2 at Rustenburg. And that there was a shop there, Dodos or whatever. And then somebody was seated in a van. Gave him permission to talk to that gentleman. And that gentleman said A, B, C, and D. And of course that gentleman, like Mr. Baloyi, has been kind to us. He says he did a volte-face. He came back and said, I'm So we follow the evidence. We've got the right to call any witness who has made a statement, deposed to it. And Mr. Baloyi hasn't called him. And you can cross-examine that very witness who made that statement before Mr. Brigadier Geninda, and tell him that you were lying, blah, 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 blah. That's how you rebut this type of evidence. But you can't stop a witness from testifying on what he knows and what he was told. What could be hearsay? Perhaps it's a Wamanda, whoever he is, telling this witness, Geninda, the lies. That's hearsay. Yes. When he's in the box here. Then you can argue that he is lying and that other witness is lying. But you can't accuse Geninda of hearsay. When he says, I was sitting with who's that gentleman? The old man from
Absalom Zoom.
Absalom Zoom, and he said to me this and this and this and this.
Yes.
Okay.
The court will recall the case that we quoted some few days ago on unproven statement. Specifically says if a statement was taken in the presence of the statement, that person can still vouch as to the correctness of the statement. Yes.
That's right. So
That's what the law says.
yeah, it's different if like Mabena, for instance. You see Mabena, he took statements, obviously, but he's not here. He's late. So if the evidence, they want to cross-examine on that evidence of Mabena because you have, let's say, you knew that Mabena was taking a statement in front of you. They can subpoena you, for instance, if you have given evidence. And use section 3, is it, of the evidence?
Yes.
Because it's late, Mabena. And then he, because he took the statement, he's alive. He can say, I was there, Mabena gave me this statement. Am I correct? That's the law.
Yes, that's what the law says. There's a case that we quoted. That
Yeah, I know.
one way of proving a statement is to call the person who took down the statement.
Yes.
Yes.
And he took the statement of the person he says, told him that he knows accused number 2.
Correct, my lord. Kwabeni.
Okay, half past.
I asked you, and I put a proposition that accused number 2 has already told the court, and he will do so again, should the need arise, that he does not know accused number 3, 4, and 5. He only knew them on the 27th of October 2020 when they appeared together for the first time in this matter in the Boksburg Magistrates Court. Amongst your answer, you said there's a statement of Angel Mutetwa who states that accused number 2 and 4 know each other. Remember that?
No, I don't think I said accused number 2. With regard to Angel Mutetwa, the previous IO, I was specific that it's in relation to accused 4 when his name came up as one of the suspects. Insofar as the accused, this is now accused number 2, I referred to Sifiso Zungu, which is Kwabeni. Angel Mutetwa, my lord, and I think I was clear even last week that it was in relation to say the name that was contained in the docket amongst the accused. It was only for accused 4, which was in the diary of the docket, and then subsequent to that, the IO, which is Lieutenant Colonel Mutetwa, then made a statement to that effect. So it only relates to accused number 4.
Yeah, that I remember.
Mangikubuza ke umbuzo ngokuthi ke umsola wesibili ke uyasho ke ukuthi umsola wesithathu owesine nowesihlanu akabazi qala ukuhlangana nabo ke nge-27 October 2020 uphenduleke wathi ke kune statement sakhe uAngel noma ke Lieutenant Colonel Mutetwa cha ayisibona engikushilo ke lokho engikushilo mayelana nestatement sakhe ke uLieutenant Colonel Mutetwa ukuthi ke kwakunegama ke elalivela ke ukuyigama lakhe ke umsola wesine uMaphisa yena ke wenza istatement ngokumayelana nalokho kuphela hayi ngokwazana kwabasola kodwa igama nje leli elalikhona nanjengomuntu okwakuyena wayephenya ngaphambilini.
Now, when we're dealing with checking whether the confession statement has got markers of reliability and unreliability, I'm going to go through with you on 4 aspects, and one of which you touched on when you testified about HH and JJ, which is the level of detail contained in that statement. You remember?
Yes, my lord, I do remember.
Ngiyakhumbula ke uma ke sikhuluma ngaso istatement ke manje ukuthi ke kuyini ke ekubhekayo noma ke imininingwane ekhona kusona ke istatement esikhuluma ngazo ke istatement lezo HH no JJ.
And you were asked by my learned colleague, and you stated certain factors that you highlighted. For example, that the statement mentions 2014, it mentions Kelly Kumalo, it mentions the phone being taken, and other factors that you highlighted. Remember that?
I remember in relation to the collaboration, my lord, because
Yes.
I was talking to exhibit HH and JJ insofar as the collaboration of the facts contained there, my lord.
Masikhuluma ke manje ngale statement ezimbili ke uHH no JJ ukuthi ke la ekuhlangana khona ke uthi Mr. Msipile ukhulumile ke ngonyaka u2014 ukhulumile ke ngayo Kelly Khumalo kanye futhi ke nocingo yabo bengikhuluma ke lokho okhona kuHH uphinde ukuthola futhi na kuJJ.
Isn't it true, Brigadier, that this case attracted a great deal of media coverage, and it was covered across print media, electronic media, social media, and the like?
Yes, well, I suppose after the trial started, you mean?
Even before. Let's talk about even before.
Yes, it was in the public domain, my lord. I'm aware. Although I don't follow bit by piece of it, but I'm aware that it was in the media platforms.
Engikwaziyo ukuthi icala ke leli icala ke besakaza noma ebeliphuma ke nakuzona ke inkundla zokuxhumana noma sikhuluma ngayo ke iTV sikhuluma ke ngomsakazo kodwa belikhona nje icala ke ebelisakazo
And still is, if even present, my lord.
kusenjalo nanjengamanje.
And you, as investigating officers, when you liaise with media houses, there's certain information, what we call the holdback evidence, that you do not give to the media so that it's disseminated to the public. So that information will be known only by the perpetrator and the investigating team. Do you know about holdback evidence?
I'm not sure about the whole. Yes, I know what is holdback evidence, but I'm not sure as to whether there is such an understanding between the media platforms of the police and us. What I know, my lord, the police system or department is structured this way. Within the police division, like with myself as I'm reporting to the National Commission, there is a spokesperson that deals with the media. So questions are directed to that section, and then that section then will then get relevant answers and report as to what is necessary or what will not compromise ongoing investigations. That's how it's structured. But we don't have a permission to directly speak to the media, my lord. As the IO, I don't have that permission.
Thina ke mina ke angikwazi ukuthi ngingakhulumisana ke nalabo ke bomsakazo noma basakazayo ke noma ke abe radio noma abe TV mina ke njengoba ngireporta kuyena ke National Commissioner ukhona ke umuntu okhulumela ke umnyango ku spokesperson uma ngabe bafuna ke abe intatheli ukukhuluma naye bakhuluma naye ke
and the spokesperson my lord for the police is not necessarily part of the investigation. Like at the national office, that person simply focuses on the media relations. Is not part of any investigation team.
Futhi ke umuntu okuyena ke okhulumela umnyango ke loyo muntu ke akasiyona ke ingxenye umuntu ke okhona ke lapha e-office noma ke national office kodwa ke akasiyona ingxenye yophela.
Now, do you know whether or not there was any holdback evidence pertaining to the investigation and the details surrounding the death and killing of Senzo Meyo?
My lord, I'll perhaps maybe just to get a clarity, holdback. So what I understand, perhaps then maybe I should understand the question in the proper context. So what I know, my lord, the police do not disclose the evidence in the media platform. They will report perhaps at the stage in which the investigation is, if it is a high profile matter or there is a media attention to say they must comment. But the policy is that the police will not go to a media platform and articulate all the evidence. They may confirm people have been arrested, they've been linked, but they will not go into the details of what is contained in linking that person or the suspects involved, my lord.
Engikwaziyo ukuthi ke uma ngaba ke abemaphoyisa ke noma loyo ke oyisikhulumi ehamba ke kulabo beindaba eyokhuluma nabo ke akangeke anikeze nemininingwane noma ke asho ke ubufakazi uzosho yebo ukuthi cha yebo bakhona ke abantu ababoshiwe kodwa nje ngeke angene kumininingwane uma esiyokhuluma nabeindaba.
So regarding what you term collaboration and mentioning the year 2014, what was so special about mentioning 2014 in either HH or JJ? Was that not in the public domain that this incident occurred in 2014?
Yes, it was. But when you talk about collaboration, my lord, is that what he says on Exhibit JJ, he's also saying it on Exhibit HH. And that Exhibit HH corresponds with the case itself, that it occurred in 2014. So we're not talking about Exhibit HH, my lord, and JJ is a document that was written by those people taking the information from him. That is the impression of what is contained here.
Okubhaliwe ke kulana ke kulama document amabili ke sikhuluma ngayo HH kanye ke no JJ ukuthi ke ukhona u2014 ngale nangale futhi ke ukhona u2014 futhi ke iloko okwabhalwa ke ilabo bantu ke abekubona babebhala futhi ke lokho kuhambisana ke naloko okuqukethwe kulona ke idokodo.
In fact, when you testified regarding Exhibit HH, you said that HH is not as detailed as Exhibit JJ. Is that correct?
Yes, because you can see, my lord, that for example, specifically just to get straight to it, in Exhibit HH, there's only 2 annexures in terms of pages. If you go to JJ, just to support that, the annexures in JJ consist of, I'll just count it, my lord, so that one can be specific why I said that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It contains 6 annexed pages of the statement. So in Exhibit HH, we have 2 annexures. The other one 6. So the number tells you that there's more details on the other one than the first one.
Ushilo ke ukuthi ke HH ke akanayo ke imininingwane nanjengo JJ. Yebo ngishilo ke uma ubheka kuyena ke HH uzothola ukuthi kunama page ke amabili kuphela kodwa ke kuyena ke uJJ awu6 kuyakutshela ke lokho ukuthi ke kunemininingwane eminingi ngale kuyena uJJ.
What I'm suggesting to you, Brigadier, is this. The mentioning of Kelly Khumalo as one of the factors that we talked about as corroboration. This was also in the public domain that the deceased was shot at whilst at the girlfriend, Kelly Khumalo, right? That was mentioned in the media.
No. So because we must look at what is contained in JJ and HH, and collaborate it with what is contained in the first in the first confession, rather the confession of accused number 1, because that's how I look at the collaboration, my lord. What is mentioned in all these confessions is that Kelly Khumalo was a trigger point. That's not what was covered in the media previously, except to say the deceased was shot at the house of then the girlfriend, which is Miss Kelly Khumalo. And there were allegations of saying perhaps she may have been involved in all that, but there was no, standing here, my lord, I do not have a recollection of someone saying in the media platform that Miss Kelly Khumalo hired people to kill the deceased. It was the first time, and it was the first time when we got told of these accused, in particular 1 and 2. That is why, my lord, I said, up to the time we got to accused 2, accused 1 and subsequent accused 2, we were dealing with what we thought was a robbery that possibly went wrong. The assertion that indicates that this was a contractual killing started forming that picture when we got to accused number 1, and thereafter it was supported by exhibit HH and JJ by accused number 2.
Ingabe akusiyona yini into ekwakhulunywa ngayo ke kuzona ke indaba ke ukuthi ke uma eshona umufi washonela ke kwikhaya noma kumuzi ke waloyo ayethandana naye okuyilento okhuluma ngayo ke uthi ke manje uma uhlanganisa ukuthi HH no JJ kukhona kokubili ke khuluma ngayo Kelly Khumalo kuzofanele sahlukaniseke ukuthi ke angikaze ngizweke noma ngaphambilini ngizweke kukhona umuntu okhulumayo ke kuzona ke indaba ethi ke uMiss Kelly Khumalo uyena ke owahamba ke wayofuna abantu ukuthi ke abenze umsebenzi wokuthi kubulawe yena ke umufi, kodwa lokho sizohlangana nako ke uma ke uphenyo seliqhubeka ke futhi ke sekuyena umsolo wokuqala kanye nowesibili ke ukhulumile noma ugonyulikile eqala yena umsolo wokuqala wase naye ke umsolo wesibili ke manje uya kusho ke lokho.
Now, as a lead detective, you receive HH with HH1 annexure thereto from Colonel Rappard. What do you then do containing the contents of that statement for your investigative purposes?
You follow it, my love. That's what collaboration is. You take it. If the court look, for example, I will make an example without, I won't go to the details of what is contained. So if you look at exhibit HH, it was made on the 19th of June 2019. If you look at, for example, the statement and the name of Kwabeni, well, let me say HH and JJ, my lord. If you look at them, names are mentioned there. From here, which is the 19th of June when HH was made, and then subsequently the 24th of June 2020 when JJ was made. The statements that followed in terms of the names that are contained here are after this. So you follow this in collaboration, and that is where now you'll find the names of Sifiso Zongo, Marco Sonke, all those things as a result of what was contained. So it was an ongoing investigation based on what I wanted to collaborate on this statement, and subsequently the identification of accused number 3, 4, 5. If one looks at the interaction, even our interaction, for example, with accused number 3, my lord, it was done on the 30th of June 2020. It was after his name was mentioned here. Same when you go to accused number 4, it was the 1st of July. It's after he was mentioned here. Same with accused number 4 was the 6th of July, number 1 was the 1st of July. It was after these statements were made, my lord.
Manje ke wena ke ongiphenyi sikhona ke le statement manje ke ezenziwe ke yini ke manje oyenzayo emuva kwalokho i-statement lezi ke zenziwe ngayo nge-19 kanye futhi nangazo ke i-24 June 2020 uJJ ke uyenziwe ngazo i24 June 2020. Kunamagama ke ashiwo lapho sikhuluma ngamagama ke abo ke Osifiso Zungu, abo Makhosonke, sekuyakhulunywa ke futhi manje ke nangabasolwa ke unumber 3, unumber 4, unumber 5. Uma usuka lana ke uyalandelela ke manje uya kulabantu uSifiso Zungu, uMakhosonke, lapho uthola khona ke abasolwa ke unumber 3, u4, unumber 5. Umsolo wesithathu yena ke saqala ukuthi si benokukhuluma naye ke nge-30 zika June 2020 kusemuva kokuthi igama lakhe livelile la kule statement. Unumber 4 yena nge-6 zika July, bese kuthi unumber 1 yena nge-1 zika July, emuva kokuthi amagama abo eshiwo kule statement engikhuluma ngazo.
Also the cell phone downloads, my lord, this is what came after, because the question is what do we do now? We have the statements, cell phone downloads of the phone relating to accused number 3, tracing of the firearm up to the time when the firearm that was linked to the projectile that was found at the crime scene was also done after the statement, my lord.
Bese ngoba ke umbuzo uthi ke yini engayenza ke emuva kwalokho manje ke la sekusetshenzwa khona ke ngama downloads akhe umakhalekhukhwini wakhe umsolo wesithathu, bese kubhekwa ke noma kufunwa ke manje isibhamu lesi ke sabe setholakala ke isibhamu lesi ke esahlanganiswa ke nayo inhlamvu eyatholakala kwindawo yesigameko.
Accused number 2 will tell this court that when you interrogated him, interviewed him at Carltonville on the 18th of June, when he was interviewed in the boardroom at Pretoria North Hospital, Pretoria North Police Station, you placed certain information that you suspect that he is linked to the commission of this offense, the Senzo Mewa murder. But over and above, you were asking him about the names of the people that he doesn't know. For example, you were asking him about Utelezi, Mapisa, Nkani, and he kept on saying, I don't know who these people are. And you insisted that you know him, you know them from the taxi industry.
No, but that's not true, my lord. That's not true. So I'll deal with it because it's one question, but it's loaded, it's segmented, my lord, and I'll try to deal with it because it's not just one question. So the first part, I was not there on the 17th of July at Pretoria North. I said this before, and so that part is not correct. I was not there, and I was not present when he was interviewed by Sergeant Mukhani. That's the first part. The second part, my lord, when I met him, and that was the 18th of June, sorry, not July, the 18th of June when I met him, 18 June 2020, I did not know the names of accused 2, 3, and 4. What I had at that stage was the confession statement made by accused number 1, which mentions 2 different other people, the Butelezis. Insofar as the statement that I had from Mr. Absalom Zungu, it mentioned him and accused 1. So that is how far my investigation was concerned, because I will not go to number 4, my lord, because in the docket itself, there were a lot of people that were interviewed and eliminated as part of the investigation. I just took interest of it because it's now before court that he was once looked at, but there were a number of them that were excluded. But insofar as the direction of the investigation as to where it was going, there were 2 people on our side, accused 1 and 2, based on Mr. Absalom Zungu's statement. There was no other statement. We've disclosed what we have, my lord. When we got to him, it is accused 2 who then brought in the other accused, that is 3, 4, 5. That's when it started now giving an indication that this matter was not actually a robbery gone wrong, it was a contractual killing. All that started as the result of the interview and the confessions made by accused number 2, my lord.
Manje ke umsola wesibili ke uthi ke ku laphayana eboardroom ePretoria North ngazo ke i17 i17 zika June 2020 wena ke unamagama ke owawasho noma ke umbizela wona ke oMaphisa, aboButhelezi, aboNkani, futhi ke kuhamagama abantu labo angabazi, kodwa kwakuwena umuntu owayesho lawo magama. Lokho ke akusilona ke iqiniso. Okokuqala angithi nje bese ngikushilo ke ngaphambilini lokho ukuthi nge-17 zika June 2020 mina ke ngangingekho lapho khona ke la ePretoria North. Kwakunge-18 zika June 2020 mangihlangana naye ke okokuqala umsolo wesibili, futhi ke lawo magama lawo noma amagama amsolo wesithathu, owesine nowesihlanu ngangingawazi. Umsolo kunamagama ke ayechaziwe ke noma ke kwistatement esaseyenziwe uyena umsolo wokuqala, yena ke washo amanye noma ke amagama ahlukile. kwase kuthi ke yena-ke kwesakhe istatimende uZungu wase yena-ke wakhuluma ngayo umsolo wesibili kanye futhi ke nomsolo wokuqala. Kungenkathi-ke manje kutholakala istatimende sakhe umsolo wesibili ekuyena-ke owafaka amagama ommangalelo noma-ke umsolo owesithathu, owesine nowesihlanu. Kodwa-ke ngaphambi kwalokho lawo magama lawo ngangingawazi. Yila-ke manje sekuzovela khona-ke noma sekuzocaca bha khona-ke ukuthi cha lokhu-ke besicabanga noma ebengicabanga ukuthi bekuyobanjwa inkunzi kwase kungahambi kahle, kwakungasilona iqiniso, kodwa-ke kwayiwa laphayana ngenhloso-ke yokuthi ayobulawa umufi.
Did the confession, and I'm speaking about Exhibit HH, lead to the discovery of additional evidence against accused number 2 in particular?
Well, it was corroborated, yes, because like I said, the statement of Jack Buthelezi, I think we've dealt with it. I mean, you'd have seen it, my lord, what he says, that is evidence. If you look at the statement of Sifiso Zungu, it implicates him. If you look at the statement of Ndwandwe, it's in the docket, it implicates him in terms of confessions that he made, alleged confession that is being alleged that he made to them. So yes, there were evidence that we found that actually implicates him further into this matter, my lord.
Ingaba-ke emuva-ke kwaleso statement sokugonyuluka kwakhe-ke umsolo wesibili kukhona yini okunye kwatholakala-ke okumhlanganisa necala lokhu leli? Yebo, uma ubheka sona-ke istatement sakhe uJack Buthelezi sikhulumile ngayo, istatement sakhe-ke uSifiso Zungu, uNdwandwe la bashoyo-ke khona-ke ukuthi-ke kunento emhlanganisayo-ke nalo icala leli.
Did you locate the black hoodie that witnesses testified about, the witnesses that were in the house and other witnesses? Did you locate that?
No, I did not, my lord.
Ingaba wayithola yini-ke ihudi leyana-ke emnyama ofakazi noma abanye ofakazi abakhulume ngayo? Cha, angizange ngiyithola.
Did HH identify further any elements of the offense that were not known to you or was in the public domain?
So let me understand the question. That was understand not known to me. What was not in the public domain? Just to understand that aspect, my lord.
My apologies, my lord. I just need to arrange an interpreter for another court. My apologies.
Okay. Never mind. We shall wait so that the eyes which are watching us know why we are not proceeding. The senior prosecutor, senior interpreter is going to arrange an interpreter for another court.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, yeah. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Madam. Sorry, Brigadier, let me start with that question. Did HH identify any elements of the offense or the crime that was not known to the investigative team?
Yes, it did. I mean, for example, it mentioned, as I said, my lord, accused 2, 3, 4, and 5. That was not known to us up to the existence of this document. That's the first part.
Ingabe-ke istatement lesi-ke kukhona okunye esakudalula yini okwakungaziwa ithimba eliphinyayo? Yebo-ke kwaletha-ke ngaphambili-ke umsola sibili, owesithathu, owesine kanye nowesihlanu esasingenabo-ke ngaphambilini kwalo idocument leli.
That the firearm or the person who had this is what the document alleges, my lord, that the person who had dreadlocks is alleged to be accused number 3.
Nokuthi-ke umuntu yiloku okushiwo-ke noma okubhalwe lapha-ke sikhuluma-ke manje ngeyitatimende lezi ukuthi-ke umuntu-ke owayenama-dreadlocks loko okusolakala noma-ke okusolwa ukuthi kwakumsolo wesithathu.
It further alleges that the accused 3 is the one who fired the shot that killed the deceased.
kusho
We did
futhi
not know that.
kusho ke nokuthi noma ke kusola ke ukuthi ke umsola wesithathu ke uye ke owadubula ke lokho okwaholela ekushoneni kwakhe umufi sasingakwazi lokho.
Let me just think what else, my lord.
Now, Constable Zungu, when he testified here, he stated, and he also states in his statement, that when he met you and Brigadier Perumal, he furnished both of you with all the information that was at his disposal. And the information that was at his disposal at the time related to the names of the suspects at the time, the 5 suspects that he said were involved in this matter, and also that he furnished the 2 photographs, or not 2, he didn't mention names, he furnished photographs of accused 1 and 2 to General Nishaban.
All right, before I go there, my lord, I was not done with what we did not know. I just want to put 2 aspects and I can move on. The other thing that we did not know is the use of a silver Polo as a getaway car. We did not know that. We also did not know that there was money or container taken from the house during this incident. That we did not know. So I just want to put that into perspective.
Uma ngizoqedelela ke ngaphambili kokuthi ke siye kumbuzo ke olandelayo ke ukuthi ke nanjengoba bengibuziwe ukuthi kwakuyini ke okunye esasikwazi noma engangikwazi ke esasingakwazi ke siyithimbe liphenyayo ukuthi ke kunemoto ke eyayisilver iPolo eyasetshenziswa ukuthi kube imoto kuhanjwa ngayo ke kamuva kokuthi isigameko senzeka nokuthi ke kwakune container yemali eyathathwa ke lapho endlini.
Now, my lord, coming to our interaction with Constable Zungu, with Brigadier Perumal, I think I did indicate, my lord, that when we met him on the 13th of November, 2019, really it was to confirm that he has convinced his father, and the father is willing to come forward. We met the father, my lord, on the 17th of November, 2019, when I took a statement. I don't recall the details of what he told us, but the essence of what I'm saying, my lord, is that we were moving from the angle of the information, that needed to be corroborated by the father, and subsequently on the 17th of November that year, and then I met the father, and then he gave me that statement, Mr. Absalom Zungu, my lord.
Futhi ke ngathi ke noma ke kubufakazi bakhe ke awakusho uZungu ukuthi ke ehlangana noma esehlangene ke nani ke waninikeza ke imininingwane ke yalabo bantu ke ayethi yena ke babe yingxenye ke yesigameko leso sokubulawa kwakhe ke uSenzo futhi amagama amahlanu kanye futhi ke nezithombe ke zakhe umsolo wesibili kanye owokuqala kanye nowesibili. Thina ke uma sihlangana naye ke uZungu ngazo i13 zika November 2019 kwakuqinisekisa nje kuphela ke ukuthi wakhuluma yini nobaba wakhe ukuthi baba wakhe eze ngempela ke sahlangana ke nobaba wakhe nge17 zika November 2019 ubaba wakhe ke wase enikeza ngaso istatement.
Now if we can go to exhibit JJ Brigadier.
Yes, ma'am.
This was then the statement that was obtained by the magistrate on the 24th of June 2020, correct?
Correct, my lord.
uJJ isona ke statement esabhalwa ke noma ke sathathwa yona ke imanje nge24 zika June 2020.
What was the need for you to obtain a second confession from the magistrate?
Well, my lord, I think the court will recall that I said on the 23rd of June, the day before, the accused was with his attorney, Mr. Mjiako. There was a discussion as to who are the state representatives insofar as the NPA is concerned. Advocate Baloyi and the other 2 advocates were mentioned. Out of those discussions, because it was clear, my lord, at that stage, that accused 2 was willing to work with the state, and that was the process that was followed, that then it gave rise to the existence of Exhibit JJ. Those discussions that started then and moved on even after the appearance until they fell off, my lord.
Manje ke kwakuyini ke isizathu noma imbangela ke yokuthi ke manje kube nalesi statement lesibili ke lesi sake 24 zika June 2020 lesi ke esathathwa yona ke imanje bengikushilo ke lokho ngaphambilini ukuthi ke ngazo i23 zika June 2020 umsolwa ke kanye ke nalowo wayemele ngaleso sikhathi yena ke uMr Mjiyakho bafuna ukwazi ke noma babefisa ukuthi bazi ukuthi obani ke abamele umbuso ila manje esekukhulunywa khona ke kuneyingxoxo ke ezaqhubekaka nasemuva kokuthi sebebingelele imanje enkantolo kodwa ke kunala zingazange iqhubeke khona ke ilokho ke ekwaholela ekuthini kube nalesi statement lesi esabhala yona imanje.
In the trial, within the trial, when this question was posed to you, why was there a need for the second confession? Didn't you testify that it appeared that accused number 2 was now distancing himself from the statement that was obtained by Colonel Rapad?
No way. No.
Ingaba awuzange ukusho yini ngaphambilini manje kubuza ke lo mbuzo ukuthi ke manje isizathu kwakuwukuthi ke umsola wesibili wayeseyiqhelanisa ke nestatement lesi esenziwa kuyena uKenneth Rapadu umbuso uthi cha ke akusiyona ke akuzange kwenzeke ngaleyo ndlela.
No, that's not what I said.
Angikushongo ke lokho.
Now, was there additional evidence other than what you've testified about HH? Was there additional evidence that was discovered after the obtaining of Exhibit JJ?
One will have then to really look at the docket and see the sequence of the statements because remember Exhibit HH and JJ, when the investigation, for example, of Sizwe Zungu with the statements, they were taken collectively because they were saying similar things, but there was more in Exhibit JJ. So there are other things that were followed here, but one will have to look at the docket in terms of the dates to see what is it that was mentioned in Exhibit JJ that was then followed and then attached in the docket.
Ingabe manje ke uma kubhekwa noma kufuma kena ke Exhibit JJ lona khona yini obunye ubufakazi obengezelekile obatholakala yini ke kuzofanele umuntu abheke ke manje kulona ke idokodoke ngoba ke uma usubheka ke kuyena ke uJJ kanye futhi naye ke uSizwe Zungu ukuthi babekhuluma ke izinto ke noma bekhuluma besho ke okodwa kuzofanele ke umuntu abheke kulona idokodo ngokulandelelana ukuthi kwaholela ekuthi kutholakaleni ke emuva kwakhe uJJ.
And after the 26th of June 2020, regarding the follow-up question to what I've asked now, anything different from HH that you followed up?
Well, what was different, my lord, what I recall, and I'm saying from the top of my head, and I'm not saying it's the only thing, is that after the 26th of June, it was brought to my attention by the state representative that specifically Mr. Ram Sipili is saying his client was now in KZN on the 27th of October 2020. So this is the second alibi that was given. That came after. I'm trying to answer you.
I'm talking about JJ, the actual confessional statements. I'm not talking about alibis.
Yes, but I'm understanding you to be saying what came after. So that's
what emanated from JJ that you then followed up, because already you've got HH, and then you go and obtain additionally JJ from the magistrate.
No, that's not how I understood the question, my lord. The first part of the question was, and I answered that to say if I have to see or check as to what is it that I followed in addition to HH arising from JJ, I've answered that one will have to look at the docket so that I can see the sequence of the filing of the statements in terms of the date. I understood the last question to be saying, other than what is contained in JJ, what is it that is new that I had discovered? And that's what I was trying to answer.
Ebengizama ukuphendula ke manje bengizombuzo ngathi ke ikupho kusha ke manje okwatholakala lana ke ku JJ engakulandelela ke.
Yeah, so you want the witness to go and read the docket?
No.
For him to answer?
No.
What do you want him to do?
My lord, I'll argue this point because...
How do you argue it? Because he wants to tell you what he did.
He can.
And then he says he has to
He
peruse
can
the
look at the
docket.
docket.
Are you saying that?
He's at liberty to look at the
Yes.
docket.
Yeah, but then
Yes.
how do you argue when he has not answered?
You are at liberty, Brigadier, to look at the docket to see
Yeah, fine.
subsequent to JJ what else was followed. That was different because you wouldn't go and duplicate the same statements. There should have been something over and above what was contained in HH.
So, must I do it now? Is that this?
No, we'll take it after the long adjournment.
Okay, man.
Now, having looked at the statements, because you had already said and the court has said, I cannot refer you to the contents of this statement because you were not the person that took the statements, both HH and JJ. Are you aware of any inconsistencies and contradictions, major ones, between HH and JJ?
No, my lord. But even then, to be precise and to be fair to the question that are being asked, because I was not looking for contradiction, I was looking for collaboration, and I said there is collaboration, my lord.
Ingabe manje khona ke okwaziyo yini ke ongahlangani noma ke okushayisa nayo ke kule statement embili lezi sikhuluma ngo-HH kanye naye ke uJJ ngoba ke ngibengabhekile ke lokho kodwa bengibheke ukuthi ke yikuphi ke okushiwoyo kulesi statement bese kuyatholakala nakulesi.
Yeah.
Sorry, madam.
No, fine.
Now, Brigadier, let me leave the contents of the statement alone, because that is evidence that is before court. Now, I just want to clarify 2-3 questions, then I'm done with it.
Yes.
You stated earlier, and I asked you last week, of the people that you say they saw suspects running away from the crime scene. And last week you mentioned only Makaleni. Was that the only witness that testified that stated in a sworn statement that they saw people running away from the Khumalo household?
Yes, that's the statement, my lord, that I recall with certainty. That because the question was as to whether there is a witness that says he saw the suspect running directly from the crime scene, from the Khumalo's house. And my answer was that yes, Makaleni is one of the people that I know with certainty that his statement says he saw people running away from the Khumalo's house, and one of the suspects was carrying a firearm. The other ones, in my recollection, will see them on the street, but specifically from the crime scene, it's Makaleni that I recall, my lord.
Uma ngikhumbula kahle ke umbuzo engawubuza ke kuvikela endlule ukuthi ke ungabe sikhona yini statement sofakazi ukuthi ke wababona ke noma wabona abantu bephuma kuleya muzi wakaKhumalo ke ila ngishilo khona ke ukuthi ke sikhona ke statement sakhe ke uMakeleni ekuyena ke washo ukuthi yebo wababona ke bephuma kuleya muzi, abanye futhi ke ukuthi omunye wabo wayephethe isibhamu, abanye kwakuwukuthi nje babona ke emgwaqweni kodwa yena ke uMakeleni uthi wababona bephuma kuleya muzi.
Now, the other aspect related to the question that I asked you as to why an ID parade was not held in this matter, regarding particularly accused number 2, upon his arrest, that he be brought to an ID parade lineup, and the people that were in the house are called to come and identify whoever they can see on the lineup. And you stated that one of the reasons why it was not held was that Tumelo Madala and Togozi Sitwala were equivocal, saying they were 50-50 about identification of the suspects, correct?
Yes. The answer was to that extent, my lord. But the person who said 50-50, in my recollection, is Tumelo Mazala, And then Thokozisi Twala, I think, said he was uncertain, but he didn't say he can't, but he said he was not sure. Madlala is the one who said 50-50, and I'm trying to go to the specifics of the statement. Insofar as the others are concerned, my lord, I did say that it was not a standalone investigation, it was prosecutorial driven. So you will get guidance from the prosecution as to which witness you can utilize for that purpose, my lord.
Ngokumelana uTumelo Madlala kanye naye ke umthokozisi Thwala uTumelo washo ke yena ke ukuthi ke kusengenzeka ke amathuba ukuthi ke 50-50 usengakhomba usengangakhombi ke kwabese ukuthi umthokozisi Thwala ke yena ke washo ukuthi unongaba zakhe noma ke enginako isiqiniseko sokuthi ke usengakwazi ukuthi akhombe mayelana nabanye ofakazi ke ngishilo ke ukuthi ke sasiholwa ke noma ngangiholwa ke abeshushisi-ke ukuthi basho ukuthi obani ke singabasebenzisi ke mayela nalokho ukuthi ke kuyo kwenziwa yona ke iparade.
And these responses, my lord, were contained in the statements because I approached them, and so when they gave answers to this 50-50 and not sure, it is contained in the statement that I took and attached in the document, my lord.
Futhi ke le impendulo zabo abanikeza ngazo ke ngikhuluma ngaye ke uTumelo Madlala kanye nomthokozisi Thwala ke zikhona ke istatement zabo ke lezo impendulo ababezisho ngangibhala phansi bese ngiyayifaka kulona idokodo.
Now at this point, Brigadier, I want to put accused version to you. Accused number 2 denies that he is one of the intruders that entered 13511 Kutlanon Street, Mzamo section, Fosloras on the 26th of October 2014.
Well, my lord, I'll start with exhibit. HH and JJ says different, and he's the deponent in those two exhibits, other than what is contained in the statements of other witnesses that I've mentioned, my lord.
So sengizosho kuwena ke manje ukuthi uthini ke umsola wesibili uthi ke yena ke uyaphika ke uyaphikisana ke nokuthi ke uomunye wabantu ke abangena ke kulo yamuzi u13511 Kutlanong Street nomzamo section eFosloras. Lokho ke kuyaphikisana ke naloku okubhaliwe ke ku exhibit HH kanye no JJ ekuyena ke umuntu ke owakhuluma lokho okubhaliwe lapho kanye futhi ke nokubhalwe kwezinye ke istatement zabanye ofakazi.
Accused number 2 will further deny that he is the so-called second intruder who entered that house that was described as dark, tall, with a beard and wearing a hoodie.
My lord, as I said also, the same answer. Exhibit HH and JJ is the deponent. He says he was the second intruder, according to this exhibit, my lord.
Uyaphikisa ke noma uyaphika ke nokuthi ke uyena ke owesibili ke kulaba njengoba kuthiwa ke kwangena abantu ababili ukuthi yena ke ulo wesibili abantu abamchaze ukuthi ke uyena ke owayemude futhi ke efake nesibhoko noma ke ihudi lokho ke futhi ke ngizoya ke kulamazibiti amabili ke HH no JJ uyayichaza noma uyazisho ke lapho ukuthi uyena ke lo kwabo wesibili.
Accused number 2 will deny that he was involved in the planning and execution of the killing of the deceased, that is Mr. Robert Senzo Meiwa.
My lord, once more, the two exhibits, HHJJ, made by accused 2, says otherwise, my lord. It differs with the assertion that I'm being told now, my lord.
Okwesibili ke umsolo wesibili ukuthi wayengasiyona ke ingxenye yokuhlelwa ke noma ke ukuplanwa kanye nokuthi ke futhi bese ke yaqhutshekwa ke manje nesigameko noma nesenzo leseko sokuthi ke abulawe yena ke uMr Robert Senzo Meiwa. Ngiphinde ngisho ke futhi ukuthi lokho ke manje uyehluka ke nalokho okubhaliwe lana ke ku exhibit HH kanye naye ke uJJ.
Accused number 2 will deny that he knows the actual perpetrators of this offense and he does not even know how the offense occurred.
No, that's not correct, my lord. The two exhibits places him as one of the perpetrators, supported by other evidence that we collected, my lord, the statements in the investigation.
Nokuthi ke futhi ke uyabazi ke abantu kuyibona ke abenza ke ise lokho ke kokuthi kubulawa ke umufi ngalelo langa lelo akusilona ke iqiniso lelo ngoba ke futhi lana kuzona ke le statement ezimbili ke uyasho ukuthi omunye ke walabo bantu kanye futhi nobunye ubufakazi ke obu kwi-statement zabanye ofakazi.
Accused number 2 will deny that on the 26th of October 2014 he was present at the Basotho Hostel in Fosloras in the company of Constable Zungu, Makosonke Zungu, Sfiso Gwabeni Zungu, and the co-accused herein and other persons that Constable Zungu testified about.
My Lord, same exhibit JJ and HH. Accused 2 places himself with the said people, my Lord. Insofar as Constable Zungu Makosonke, that evidence is contained in the statements that were taken from different people, including Constable Zungu, who places him with these other people and at the hostel on the 26th of October 2014, my Lord.
Futhi ke umsolo wesibili ke uthi yena ke nge-26 October 2014 wayengasiyona ke ingxenye yabantu ababekhona ke noma wayengekho lapho eBasotho hostels, Basotho hostel kanye nalabantu ke ababaliwe ke uMakhosonke, uSifiso, uGwabeni kanye naye ke uConstable Zungu. Lokho ke akusilona ke iqiniso ngoba ke kule statement ezimbili ke uyashoka ukuthi wayekhona ke lapho kanye futhi nazo ke istatement zalabo ke ababaliwe aboMakhosonke Zungu, aboGwabeni kanye naye ke uConstable Zungu abashoyo ukuthi impela wayekhona lapho.
Accused number 2 will deny that he personally knows Ms. Kedi Khumalo and does not know who ordered or who paid for the killing, if it was a contractual killing, if it was a robbery gone bad. He does not know any of these details.
Well, my Lord, I'll agree with the second point before the last, which says he personally does not know Ms. Kedi Khumalo, because that's what contained in his statement. He does say he doesn't know her, but he is aware, according to this exhibit, that the contractual order of the killing of the deceased came from Ms. Kedi Khumalo. So to say he doesn't know her, I don't have evidence that proves that he knows her. So I agree with that part. But that this was not a contractual killing ordered by Ms. Kedi Khumalo, where he played a part. That part is not true, my Lord.
Okunye futhi kaqhubekeke umsolo wesibili athi ke yena ke akamazi uMs Kedi Khumalo nokuthi futhi ke kwakhokhwa ke lana kwakhokhelwa abantu ukuthi akabahambe ke bayokulala umufi nalokho ke akanalwazi ke lwalokho. Ngizovumelana ke naloko kokuqala ukuthi ke akamazi uMs Kedi Khumalo, akunabo ubufakazi obushoyo ukuthi uyamazi, nalabo istatement sakhe uyasho ukuthi akamazi, kodwa ke lokhu kokuthi ke akazi noma wayengazi ukuthi ke ubani owakhokhela ke noma ke owakhipha ke imali ukuthi akhanjwe kebula umufi, lokho ke angivumelani nako akusilona iqiniso.
In fact, my Lord, in both exhibit HH and JJ, accused 2 mentions the amount he received after the deceased was shot. I think it's in the tune of 45,000 rand, but it comes in 2 benches, my Lord.
Futhi ke kuzona zoyimbili ke le statement lezi ke uHH kanye naye ke uJJ uyasho ke lapho umsolo wesibili ukuthi imalini ke ayikhokhelwa lapho emuva kokuthi umufi eseshonileke kwakuyi 45,000, kodwa ke yakhokhwa ke amahlandla amabili ke uyayisho imali lapho ukuthi ke imalini ayikhokhelwa.
Accused number 2 will state that at the time from 2009 2016 he was gainfully employed, and again from 2017 first at Sibanye Gold from 2009 to 2016, and also again from 2017 until the date of his arrest on the 16th of June 2020.
So my lord, let me start with the first part. I do not seem to have evidence that when he was arrested he was employed. I don't have that evidence, but I'm not disputing if he says that, but I don't seem to have that evidence. But let me go back to the Sibanye mine. I agree that from 2009, that's his employment records, up to 2016 he was employed. That's a fact. However, on the date of the incident of this matter, he was not at work, and that relates to the first alibi that he gave us, the false one, where he suggested that he was at work on the 26th, and the contrary was found when we followed that alibi. So, but yes, he was employed by Sibanye Mine. Hence, we're able to establish that when he says he was at work on that specific day, the 26th of October 2014, that was not actually true, but he was employed by that mining company.
Umsola wesibili yaqhubeka ke athi ke ukusuka ngaye ke u2009 kuyoshaya ke u2016 wayesebenza ke sebenzela yona ke isibanye base kuthi ke futhi ke nango 2017 kwaze kwayisikhathi sokuboshwa kwakhe ke nalapho wayesebenza ke nge16 ka June 2020 angifuni ke ukuthi angikuphikisike kodwa ke anginaso nje isiqiniseko noma ubufakazi ke ukuthi ke ngalesikhathi sokuboshwa kwakhe ngempela wayesebenza kodwa ke lokho ngakusho ke ukuthi ke ukusuka ngayo 2009 kuyoshaya 2016 impela wayesebenzela yona ke isibanye ila sasiye khona ke uma esesitshela ke ukuthi ngalo ilanga lange 26 zika October 2014 wayesemsebenzini sesiye khona ke siyoqinisekisa lokho kodwa ke sathola ukuthi ngalo langa lelo lange 26 October 2014 ngalelo langa lelo wayengekho emsebenzini.
Accused number 2 will deny that he is or he was a hitman in the taxi killings or any other contract killings for that matter, as he was again gainfully employed from 2009 to 2016 and again from 2017 until the date of his arrest on the 16th of June 2020.
My Lord, the collected evidence, statements and witnesses that we interviewed and obtained statements says otherwise. I don't know if it will be fair that I go into, but they say otherwise. So I don't agree with that because what I know says something different.
Aqhubeke ke umselo wesibili athi ke yena ke uyakuphika ke noma uyaphikisana nako ke okushiwo yonke noma ke inkulumo ezithi ke waye inkabi ke ku la ekwakulawa khona ke kumkhakha wezamatekisi ngokuthi ke ngaleso sikhathi leso ke yena ke wayesebenza nanje bakushiwa ke ukusuka ngo2009 kuyoshaya 2016 nango 2017 kuyoshaya ke isikhathi noma kuyofika ke isikhathi sokuboshwa kwakhe kodwa mina ke enginako ke kuyitatimende enginazo zabofakazi ke basho okuhlukile ke naloku akushoyo ke yena la.
As the court pleases, my Lord, before I sit down, let me consult.
Yeah, fine.
Thank you, Madam. I mean, those are all the questions that I have for the brigadier.
Okay. So this other answer,
That other aspect, my lord, for him to go and look at the further follow-ups, my lord, I will take it up with him when he has looked at the docket.
when yes,
When he has already revisited the docket on that aspect.
what's the time there, Mr. Barrett?
It's 26 minutes before 1.
2?
26 minutes before 1.
Okay. Well, how long will it take you to check your docket?
20 minutes less, my lord.
Why not 10 minutes or 15 minutes?
Yes, I can do.
Let's adjourn for 15 minutes so that Mr. Ramasipili, when he's through with you, he's through with you.
Yes.
Okay.
10 minutes will be
Yeah,
sufficient.
10 minutes, please.